check out, so we got this equine forage seed mixture. It does not have fescue, but it has a bunch of different kinds of grasses and legumes that horses like. Has some clover, has some elf, has some timothy, orchard, all that fun stuff. And we're going to go do what we call, well, what is known as winter seeding. It's not quite right, but we'll talk about that as we get there. I'll let you look at Winnie while I talk about what winter overseeding is. So winter overseeding is a pasture management technique that's kind of lazy, but also can be very, very beneficial. We put in new fencing this fall, and as such, quite a bit of ground got torn up, and our pasture could use some recovery anyway. So the concept of winter overseeding is literally here in early March. You do it in February, March, depending on where you are, where the ground is still frozen, which even though it doesn't look it, it is frozen once you get about 4 inches down, but not snow covered, which as you can see is not. So I am coming out today just with a simple hand spreader, a pasture mix that I got, and I am just going to walk through that. We are projected to start about this tonight around 6 or 7 o'clock. We're supposed to get rain, possibly snow. So the winter has made these cracks. You can't see because of my thing. Has made cracks. All the work they did tore it up. So there's lots of little grooves and stuff. So the seed should settle into there. And then when the moisture comes tonight, it should help push it in. And as the ground freezes from below, the moisture will come up and help those seeds germinate. And the goal is just to give a little extra overseeding. Our pastures are decent. We have decent quality pastures, but there's always room for improvement. And especially after you do something like put in new fencing, which just tears up a ton of it. As you can see, we have piles of trees we need to burn and dirt. But so I'm just going to walk in all these areas that the fencing tore up, that I don't know if any new grass will come up, and I'm going to overseed them. I'm going to winter overseed them. Hope that the moisture and thaw cycle will help some new grass grow. The horses are not on pasture this time of year and typically don't come on to pasture until May, so we've got a couple of months for it to kind of grow and establish itself. And worst case scenario, especially back here in this part of the pasture, that's probably the worst area, we can run our line of electric loss and give them the front half of the pasture, which always grows better anyway. Pasture management's a big part of running a rescue or any kind of herd management, so you just do what you can. And yeah, that's what I'm doing today. What I do is I've got this cool little spreader. I've got it set to the highest opening, so you just, I don't know if you can see, you just do this, and then the seeds spread out. So I'm just walking along doing that. I brought a bucket with me, and right now the wind's doing a really good job of spreading it even further. I'm not putting a great amount on. I just want enough to kind of establish some grass. End result of the spreading is all those little green seeds. Hopefully the birds don't eat them. I've done the majority of this area, and I'm just going to take my bucket and keep walking and find any more areas I think need it. Like I need to go over here some more. Hopefully the birds don't eat them before it rains and they get pushed into the ground. Hopefully the weather works, and we'll see how it works. At the end of the day, if nothing sprouts, I'm only out about $40 for the seed and my time. But every little bit we can do makes a big difference. You know, this year we would love to seed the whole thing, but the ranger's down, so I don't have the equipment to come out here and spread that right now, and the big tractor is just too big, but we'll get there. So I did one 5-gallon bucket, which is probably about 15 pounds. I've still got about 2/5 of the bag left, 25-pound bag, and did a big chunk. So like this area you can see is a little more eaten, a little more dry. You can see all the lines. Well, I can see all the lines where the skid loader came in to pushing in the fence posts, but you know, new fence does that, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to give up the good, pretty, solid, safe fence just for, you know, for any other reason. You do what you got to do, and hopefully this works. You know, we'll keep doing management, and hopefully some of these seeds grow.